Well, we got to give Dan a chance. I'm going to give you my opinion. One of the key factors is that nobody wants to bring the technology integrator into the early discussion because they're afraid they're going to start talking a bunch of acronyms and the client's going to glaze over and then they'll be dismissed. And that happens all the time. And then the technology integrator never gets invited to a meeting with the architect and we don't get in early. So it's about the soft skills of actually discerning needs and being able to speak consumerese about that stuff. That is a big issue, and I think something you're sensitive to.
Yeah, you nailed it. It's fragmented, right? I mean, depending on the contractor you talk to, you're going to get a different story. And honestly, all the products out there are very viable, good products, right? And each contractor is going to have their own preference. Each homeowner may have their own preference based on a previous scenario, good or bad. Our job at Responsive Living is to be a master in all of it. Right? And working for a manufacturer as long as I did, I knew my competitive products as well as I knew my own products, right? When you sell thermostats, lighting controls, shading controls, energy management controls, you name it, I have to know that what every other competitor in that industry is also doing. The team I've teamed up with is lighting designers, electrical engineers, microgrid engineers. They're guys from this industry that are familiar with installing and servicing and all know that there's failure points in it. And so we are a non-biased company. We want to come in and make sure people are fully educated on what can and cannot be done. One of Blue Heron's guys called me the other day and said, hey, I've got this customer, he wants to do something. And basically the question was, he wants to make money off his solar array. And it's not hard for me to be like, he's building a $20 million house. He's not going to make money off his solar array. I hate to give you the bearer of bad news here. Now, the Tesla guy would walk in and be like, sure, buy a Tesla Powerwall and a couple of power panels. We'll hook you up. It's not going to work. So we are that non-biased, non-fragmented company. And when you think about the services and the things that we tie together is, comfort, the way we used to think about comfort was there's a thermostat that I can access on the wall or from an app and change the channel. We don't think about comfort like that anymore. Now we think about comfort as, does that HVAC and mechanical system and all the appliances of the home, are they in terms of energy usage, in terms of functionality, is if the power goes off, can the generator power them? If there is no generator, can the batteries and inverter power them? So behind everything here, we're thinking about power and we're thinking about internet. When we think about entertainment, I mean, you're right, we need the infrastructure. I care way more about the infrastructure going in so that homeowner can do whatever the hell they want for entertainment, whether it's after the build or not. But the infrastructure is there, so they're not going to bastardize the design of the house by having to cut up millwork or cut up art or change marble countertops or whatever because the infrastructure wasn't put in place at the beginning. All of these things are a cohesive group of services that in today's world of a smart home require interoperability. And so this used to be a smart light switch, a smart thermostat, a smart camera, right? All that stuff is gone, it's over with, it's in the past. Now it's about a holistic approach to the home from security and access control and entertainment and power management and renewable energy and the type of light or smart or healthy lighting in the home to the comfort, everything all working cohesively. We're not selling you anything. We're not selling you a product. We're simply telling you how to achieve the design based on the architectural and homeowners' needs. So I know everybody wants to know, how much does this cost? I can't really tell you how much it costs based on the size of the house and depending on how deep they want to go. So the easiest entry point here, guys, if you guys have a new customer or new client, give me a shout. Have a 60 to 90 minute consultation with myself, with the architect, or with the homeowner, and let's just have an open discussion about what they're trying to achieve. Out of that project consultation, you're going to get a detailed report that basically says these are the things that you could consider that are going to achieve the homeowner's wants and needs, or are going to not bastardize the design of the home. Very low cost, right? I'm talking a couple $100, and you guys have a detailed report about what can and cannot be done, or what can be done and what should not be done, I should say. Sean doesn't like my prices. He thinks everything should be a couple thousand. Basic design is going to get a little bit more costly. This is what I'll bring in, a good base point here. This is Sean's pricing. It was $1 per square foot.
At least.
At least. So, if you want to think about what a basic design or scope of work is, hey, now we want your plans. We want the architectural plans. We're going to start drawing up on these architectural plans. I'm not going to go into CAD and Revit. I'm not going to go that deep. But I'm going to go room by room and tell you and give you quantities and proposals about what that technology would cost. And then obviously the third tier is us coming in from end to end as the technology architect for the job and running that job from the beginning to the end. Working with the MEPs, helping and assisting with project management, being on site if we have to be on site. But yeah, working with all the design teams, working with all the MEPs, working with all the subcontractors, assuring everybody's generally staying in a straight line. If change orders or products change, then hey, we're the first to know, right? If Lutron changes to some new hardware architecture, or Savant does, or Crestron does, or Elan does, hey, we're the first guys to know that. And we're gonna update the documents and proposals to show that, hey, this is what's gonna be available in a year from now when that home is done. The stuff that you guys currently have quoted in there isn't gonna exist in 6 months. So I think that's it for me, John. That's all my
Excellent. We're only a minute and 18 seconds over.
I see a question over there.
Nah, it's too late. We're going to have to ask the question after because we're a minute 25 over. So I want to say thank you to Dan and Responsive Living for sponsoring this session, to all of our expert panelists who provided such great perspective, to you all for coming and being a very attentive audience. Let's keep it up. Let's keep our heads up.